Squirrels! So hello, and welcome to another Legends of Runeterra video, and today we are playing something very exciting indeed, and something which has not been seen for some, if any time, beforehand, and that is Poros, but not just Poros, competitively viable Poros. This is the list that I have been trying out, and I think a lot of people have sort of had this idea as soon as Braum got buffed and then Aurora Borealis came down in mana cost. It was like, okay, maybe there's something here, and this something is here. Now, it's not the best deck that you can build. It's certainly not the most competitive deck. It's not all in Poros either, but it does have some Poros. It's got the Lonely Poros. It's running 3 Aurora Borealis, and it's running 3 Braum. So it does have some Poros in it, but yeah, maybe not the most Poros, you might say. But it's got some really cool synergies with Lux here, of course, with Aurora Borealis being 6 mana. All of these cards being 6 mana go quite well with the Mage Seeker Persuader, which in my opinion is the best of the Mage Seekers, because it's a fine 2-drop to play down. With the 3/2 stat line, it trades pretty well with a lot of things. But then obviously once you've played that 6+ cost spell, of which we have 9, it's going to be pretty good. Now obviously Remembrance is a very strong spell itself, and with Aurora Borealis and Harsh Winds, that means that we've got plenty of options for big spells in there. Aside from that, we've got some really nice, just general play. Lonely Poro is actually a pretty good card. In general, the fact that, it gives you 2 bodies, and obviously anytime we do get the Aurora Borealis out, anytime that, the game has slowed down to where we can play it, then I think we're in a pretty good spot. Because that's the thing with Aurora Borealis, it's a very slow card, and so you're going to need the time to play it, and that's kind of maybe why you can't go all in Poros. But the other Poro cards we are playing in Braum and Lonely Poro will help us slow the game down sufficiently in that way, and the rest of the deck will as well, with the likes of Kindly Tavern Keeper, Babbling Bjerg for good draw. Fury of the North is obviously a great combat trick. Radiant Guardian, of course, it's a very strong card that will again help us sort of get to the later game, and then as soon as we get to that later game, then we should be doing okay. And Braum, as I'm sure most of you know by now, is probably too strong. I'm going to go out there that they went the wrong way, I think, with buffing Freljord. The last patch, I think, was a mistake in a lot of different areas. And it seems now that Freljord is a region with, like, a lot of, like, really good cards, and then, like, a lot of really bad cards. And there's no, like, middle ground. And so I think that's a bit of a problem. I wouldn't be shocked to see them nerf Braum next time. But that said, he is what he is now. And yeah, let's get into some games. So, Fizz Twisted Fate. Not our best matchup, honestly, because obviously with Lux, we are going to be targeting, and if they're playing, Fizz and stopping us from targeting, that's not ideal. Single combat, same sort of deal. It could be okay for Twisted Fate, but I'm not sure. I might kick this whole hand, and because they're not going to be a quick deck, so I'm kind of looking for something like Remembrance, because they're not going to be super quick. And then we've got Remembrance into double Mage Seeker, and that's going to be pretty strong. We can take these hits off Fizz, that's fine. Twisted Fate will obviously be probably the bigger threat in this deck. There's a Braum as well, but yeah, I'm very happy to just pass it through here, especially with the double Mage Seeker hand. That's going to be a very, very strong turn indeed. Deny. How many denies do you run? I'd maybe 1, but it's unlikely. I would suggest maybe 1 deny in this kind of deck. But okay, we got the nut draw as well off it. Probably the best one we could have got, because of course this really will hit Fizz pretty hard. He does get the Black Market Merchant, but we can take that out with the Persuaders as well. The thing is, we are running a Poro deck. It's probably not synergizing all that well with his. There are some cards that he could get, single combat and the like, which could be pretty good for him, but we are going to go in for the double Mage Seeker Persuader and hopefully be able to wipe out this board pretty well. He might be looking to drop a Twisted Fate here that he can't, and that's obviously going to be somewhat frustrating for him. He could have Make It Rain. I don't want to give him a good Make It Rain. So therefore we will just let the Mage Seeker live, because of course we could keep this at higher health, but given that, you know, he's in Bilgewater, I don't think we will do that. And it also makes his Twisted Fate worse, so he does get a Radiant Guardian. That's pretty funny. Look, I love that mechanic, by the way. That's probably my favorite mechanic in the game. I'm kidding, by the way. We get our own, which is pretty nice, and I would bet that our late game is a bit better than his with the Lux. So I'd be pretty happy with that. We could Fury the North Trick it as well. I'm not sure that's where we want to be. So I am just going to go for our own Radiant Guardian here. I can't kill this with the Mage Seeker the next turn. And this is going to be, you know, Will of Ionia obviously is the one that you would suggest that he could have. But that's fine as well. I had the dragon. That's also pretty fine. I'm pretty happy to take that out. So, you know, we might be looking at something like Will of Ionia. It's something that we'll have to consider for sure. Next turn we will probably want to go in for Lux potentially, and then, you know, this game has slowed down already. Obviously as both having Radiant Guardians out is pretty much stopped the board. So this is what he gave barrier to, so this means that he doesn't have a better option than this, which is obviously pretty good. He goes for Parlay, so he is either on... Oh, he's looking for double claws, maybe that's why he did it. Okay. That's certainly interesting. So now, obviously our open attack with Lux is somewhat useless because of this. We could go for Braum. That much is certainly true. I don't hate Braum here. But I kind of want to get down Lux, I'll be honest. I kind of want to get down Lux. So I think what we'll do here is go in with you first and take you and take you. And I do want the health back, I suppose. Do I play Lux? Yeah, let's play Lux first. Let's play Lux first. As it means that, you know, I mean, yes, this can block either one of these, but the other one will, you know, potentially get through. It could be Will. So yeah, there's the Will, and that's why we played Lux, because he was going to will one of these away from killing them, and that's not what I wanted either. So this to me is fine. I'm actually going to keep that back as a blocker. Am I? Do I prefer the health? I probably prefer the health. Like, the one damage is doing nothing, it still blocks and trades pretty well there. But I prefer the health overall. Not the best we could have got there. But his open attack isn't great. It's not terrible, but it's not great. Okay, he does go for it anyway. I'll happily block. Goes for pocket aces. I mean, that just feels fine. Like, that's absolutely fine. And I think I'm just going to go Lux at this point. I don't really see a reason not to. He goes for Shadow Assassin. Like, as soon as we level this Lux up, it's pretty much going to be a good game. You would have thought he finds Will of Ionia again. You know, which is pretty nice for him. This means then that we might have to go for something a bit different. And so I think instead I am going to go Braum. And do this. We've got the Harsh Winds as backup as well. The reason that we didn't go Lux there is we need a bit more board presence, I think. Whereas there, if we would have put down Lux, he didn't have Will of Ionia, you know, we could have then gone into Remembrance this turn, killed something. But now I want a bit more board presence, and that's why we go for Braum there instead. So he goes for the pick a card. With no Twisted Fate down, that's absolutely fine. This might be a decent time to play Bjerg as well. Which will go and get us a Radiant Guardian, I think. But then next turn we've got what, 9, 12 mana. That's enough to play Lux and a spell. So let's keep it, because that's obviously ideal for us. And he's drawing a lot of cards this turn, so he potentially will develop into me. Does go for Fizz. And so what I think I will do this turn is Fizz into the Harsh Wind. I think that's probably going to be our best turn. If he doesn't do anything with this, he will obviously. He goes for Pocket Aces. So we'll go for the Harsh Winds. It's going to do two things for us, of course. It's going to level up our Lux, which means that now Bjerg can draw a Lux for us, which obviously is a bit more ideal. So unless he's on the second Pocket Aces, we should be fine. And we can use the Final Spark on you, because we can kill this one with Braum. We also have the Mage Seeker Persuader, which we will be playing to threaten this Fizz. Comes out with the Black Market Merchant. It's not too bad either, because maybe Braum can kill this. Has Pilfered Goods as well, so, you know, not ideal, but because there's no Twisted Fate down, I don't feel under threat. And as I say, our own deck isn't threatening us that much, to be honest. I mean, at this point, Lux can probably deal with them. But yeah, we'll be targeting this Fizz pretty heavily here, I think.
Your Demasia's nothing like what I know.
Warning Shot, Riptide Rex. Nope, just more Pilfered Goods. That's still fine. That's a really, really odd Warning Shot, and not one that I think is necessarily worth it. He goes for Babbling Bjerg. He doesn't have 5+ units. So of course, it does nothing for him. This is a time, I think, that we probably will just go in like so. It's played so many Pilfered Goods at this point that I'm not too worried about Black Market Merchant. It's kind of done what it's doing. So we'll just go for this.
Spring does not pity winter.
He's played what, 2 Will of Ionia, so it's very unlikely he can deal with this Mage Seeker. He goes for Fury of the North. Little does he know that I also have a Fury of the North, and that's why, you know, we didn't commit anything. Of course, he can have lots of things there. And now second Fury would save him. If this is second Fury, wow. Concerted Strike on Lux. Okay. That's fine. As I say, I think we've got definitely the better of it, and, you know, right now we can certainly make more of it. And so with that said, I know we could go for a Remembrance, but I'd rather do it when we've got Lux down. Find the Radiant Guardian instead, but you see how we're just able to just keep going with this deck. Bjerg is a card I think that's really come into its own, and more people are beginning to find out that it really is a pretty decent card. Nothing from him. I'll play Lonely Poro. Play the second Poro. And if you really want to do nothing. Yeah. Yeah, see, the deck can go places, really can. It really can. Ezreal Twisted Fate. Now this one is going to be very interesting. Braum is very good here. Fury of the North is pretty good here. Single combats probably aren't doing as much. But Braum could be a real menace for them as a whole. Lonely Poro, not as good. And so we'll probably be sticking away from that. But this turn, 3 Remembrance as well. Pretty good. And, you know, some of their best cards for leveling up Ezreal, of course. I mean, it's not an easy matchup, because if they can level up Ezreal, we're not a quick deck, so we can struggle against Ezreal. but the non-Will of Ionia, non-Ionia version against Ezreal, we're probably slightly better against. Let's just go for a petty officer and tosses 3 cards, and that was what, 2 thermo beams gone. So that tells us quite a lot straight away. I will just go for Remembrance. The 5/5 tough would be pretty good here. The Moose is what we get. I mean, it's just going to be blocked either way. Mystic Shot. Like, the thing is, he's just going to block it and do that next turn anyway, so I might as well just not take the 3 damage. It's sort of, you know, it's both ways, and this dies to Braum, and because he's got rid of 2 thermo beams, the chances of him being on thermo beam, which is, I'm pretty sure going to be the only card that kills Braum here, it's very low. Now, if he's got it, this could be game changing. This genuinely, if this is thermo beam, if this is top decked thermo beam from this side of the hand, which means it's a top deck, so he literally top decked the thermo beam onto Braum after just tossing away 2 versions of them. Insane. This guy is amazing at the game. Crazy what this game will do to you. That's probably game over. I'm not lying, that is actually probably lost as the game right there. It was a risk, I understood that, but the chances were with me, you know, the overall yeah. Oh god, I really love this game sometimes. It's just so, and now this, it's just so, what can you do? So yeah, this game is probably over. I'm not kidding. That little sequence there of just that onto Braum, this game is probably over straight away, and then into Black Market Merchant, and then into that. It's just all come together for him perfectly, and we're in so much trouble right now. Yeah, we're in a lot of trouble. I don't want to make a... this doesn't make a static shock better, I suppose. Yeah, we're in massive trouble here. And the fact that he's got that... What? 5 plus Riptide? Oh, God. So he's on Riptide Rex as well, which... Oh, we're in so much trouble. We're in just so much trouble. So we'll just attack like that, I guess. We got the kill. Now we'll go... No, he doesn't have enough mana for static, but... Make it rain. Possibly coming in. We can go for single combat. We want to keep that open. I guess this is the best Tavern Keeper we're getting. Also ruined his Make It Rain, which is pretty good for us. He goes with a keg. Okay. Double single combat. We could probably use with a Lux roundabout now. Because again, Lux will be very difficult for him to move right now, because he's used all his thermo beams. Probably see an open attack here. We've got some half decent blocks. Instead he goes for Twisted Fate. It's a gold card. Okay. So I should have single combat. I forgot about the keg. Big misplay. But anyway, we can do that. Or we could just threaten it. Just go for Ezreal now. Whoa, buddy, what are you doing? What are you doing there, buddy? That's one Ezreal down. See if he's on the second one. I probably actually should have played a Poro at that point. So he goes in for this attack. I'll trade that. That's a free block. Am I taking 5? Knowing that he's got Rex in hand? Probably not. But I'd probably rather keep Poro as it is. And buff up our board, I suppose. So yeah, I think that's... I should have played these Poros before, I don't know why I didn't. Should have saved the single combat till after. We'll play our Poros now. We got the Challenger one, which is pretty nice. Obviously we will probably be needing it. So we can attack now, like so. Pretty decent attack. No, he obviously knows I've got the second Poros next, so yeah, he just lets it go. So here's Rex. And as I mentioned, this is probably game over. The cards that he stole from us, combined with all of it, it's very difficult. How many is going to this one? Because these are only dealing one, right? So it's 1, 2, 3. Is that 4? How many is going to you? 1. So this one's dead, I think, no matter what. I think that saves this one. No? They need to clean this up quite a lot, I think. I don't think it helps at all. But yeah, we're probably game over here. Very little we can do. We do have Fury of the North, which is helping, but very difficult for us in general. As I say, that Thermo Beam... This is the thing. People talk about, you know, when a game is over. You can sometimes... Like, a play like that is the game over, whether you think it or not. And Ezreal is also leveled up, so... Yeah, we're pretty boned here, I'd say. Goes for gold card. We'll go single combat. I mean, on what? Twisted Fate. And then we got Remembrance. We kind of need it to be into the Radiant Guardian. That's probably our one chance here. Radiant Guardian into Fury of the North. Okay, we got Swiftwing. Not ideal. We'll just attack with all. Obviously, we kind of have to block the Rex.
What you looking for?
Pickpocket. I mean, yeah, this game's over. Very much over. Into Tavern Keeper. I'm just gonna concede. So round 2. Let's see if we've got it this time. Honestly, I'll probably keep a Lux in hand. Bjerg probably isn't exactly where we want to be. Lonely Poro might not even be where we want to be, to be honest. Gives him some good options. Oh, we find second Lonely Poro. Will I go for it? He should have a lot of options against it. It's just a free target. For stuff like Thermo Beam and the likes. But if he uses a Thermo Beam on this, I suppose he's not using it on something else, so... We get the Challenger one as well, which is okay. Parlay is obviously a pretty big counter. Butcher. Ooh, playing Butcher in that deck? Well, I'm not sure about that. That seems incorrect. I will block this, by the way. If he's looking for a merchant here. And I'll just pass. Please pickpocket. Okay. We'll see what we get. It's just the affectionate Poro for me, my friend. If he goes for a target on it, we've got the single combat. Plays Ezreal.
Let's see all of it.
Okay. I actually think this is probably correct. Just bodying his Ezreal. So that's one Ezreal down, and that's pretty big, by the way, because if they can't draw Ezreal, that is not good for them. Now they do have a lot of draw in the deck, that's true. Could go for single combat here as well. Is that one worth it? Probably less so. He's gonna plunder at some point. So I'll just play Bjerg. Twisted Fate. Into gold card. So now we shall be keeping our mana open. Oh, Braum. So, Thermo Beam again is just there for him. So I think I'm going to pass. He might pass it back. Play Yordle Grifter. Okay. That's somewhat helpful. So that means we can play Braum. That means we can kill this pickpocket pretty easily. And, you know, Braum resets the board for us. Gives us a pretty good, stable board here now. So its strike is looking okay as well. If something dies, we've got Radiant Guardian. He plays second Ezreal. Wow. Just wow. I'll pass.
Watch and learn.
I'll pass that as well. I think what he's probably looking to do here is, I mean, you'd imagine he'd use this. A good player would probably Pilfered Goods with no Black Market Merchant, by the way. I mean, he does have the Twisted Fate down, which is on 5, so we might want to deal with that. Okay, if it goes up to, yeah. So this is too high for us right now, that it's on 7. So we'll just deal with him right now. Probably play single combat from you to you. Does make him make it rain or something a bit better, but dealing with this Twisted Fate is a big thing for us right now. Now next turn we have 3, 7, 10 mana. 10's obviously not enough to play both. So I actually quite like this onto something like the Poro. It really does stop stuff like, well, quite a lot of stuff, to be honest. Oh, I really quite like that play. But if these die, I've got a good Radiant Guardian as well.
Think hard, think strong.
So let's just attack. Let's put some pressure on him. It could be Fury of the North here, by the way.
You're between me and glory.
Blocks with Ezreal. Wow. Surely he's going to kill this. Yeah, I didn't think he would.
Friend here needs you to pay up.
Doesn't block either. He's just going to go for the Static Shock on both. And that's going to give us Radiant Guardian into Remembrance. We should have some pretty strong things on that. He might want to kill the Braum. He doesn't. He lets that through as well. Wow.
Safety.
So he gets the Yordle Grifter with no allegiance. Nothing of ours died. So what, we've got a pretty free Lux then?
What are you staring at?
Just your face hair. Face. And
Goes for Warning Shot. Is this into more Pilfered Goods or Merchant here? Obviously it's nothing from my deck. For Butcher, wow, I mean, what is this guy doing? Don't do this, by the way. That it's never worth it. He gets a Lonely Poro from us. That's obviously fine. The Challenger one is a bit annoying. But it should be okay. This Lux here should be doing... This could be Thermo Beam, to be fair. Which obviously would not be ideal.
sounds dangerous. I'm in.
Goes for the big attack. I'm pretty happy to trade there. Probably trade in the Braum. Difference between 4 and 5 is pretty much nothing. If he does go for something buffed up, then we've got... I mean, this does mean that that could die to that. So maybe not. Oh, he could be looking at Riptide Rex. So if we do this now... That's a major stuff. to Riptide Rex also gives us a leveled up Lux. Assuming he doesn't get that. It's pretty major. He does have the warning shot in hand though. He does have the warning shot in hand, so he still could just do it that way.
Shine with me.
So I suppose it doesn't matter. Let's just do that. He goes for his own Fury of the North. I mean, that's fine. Does target 2 things, so it's pretty good for his Ezreal. But yeah, that's absolutely fine. As long as our Lux isn't dying, we should be okay. I mean, no Riptide there is pretty ideal for us. We can kill Ezreal now. We should be good here, to be honest. Him only being on 2 mana as well. We should be good here. Bye bye Ezreal. Radiant Guardian is pretty nice. It's on 6 of 10 by the way. If I go remote, yeah. So when we don't get absolutely god drawn, you can see that this deck actually is pretty strong with Braum. Now who's pretty strong himself, and obviously Lux is a big finisher, particularly if your opponent can't remove her. Yeah, this deck can just control, and that's kind of thing. As long as you don't come up against, you know, I mean, this deck probably isn't the best against like Elusive Burn or something like that. But any sort of normal standard non-elusive aggro, you know, with stuff like Lonely Poro, it's a big card against those kind of things because it can deal with obviously and block quite a few things. And then, you know, Radiant Guardian can really help you stabilize later on in the game. So overall, I think it's a pretty solid deck. Yeah, I hope you like it. Check it out if you do love Poros, which I'm sure many of you do. Then this, I think, is a deck that can actually win games for you and, you know, feel pretty good. I know it isn't playing the full Poro package with Poro snacks and, you know, just running the normal Mighty Poro anyway and the tough Poro and all that, but this is a deck that will actually win you games. You will get to play Poros and you will get to play Aurora Borealis in a non-meme type way, and you could actually rank up with this deck, I think, pretty easily. Maybe not the very high ranks, but, you know, certainly from, you know, probably I would say you can get this deck into Diamond. Maybe that'll be my goal, but no. Thank you for watching. My name's been Chris. Have a really nice day.